What's going on, everyone? American Leeds, the American Leeds YouTube channel. My name, Alex Simon. Thanks for tuning in. And shout out to Andy Wong, who correctly commented in one of my videos that I missed Wednesday, and I did. I had some events that happened to me. So I try to do it every Monday and every Wednesday. So please follow along. I am at 1,300 subscribers on YouTube. Post the video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please do subscribe. There are about half of the viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Please like the video. It kicks the video on. In other words, if you are viewing it and for whatever reason you didn't like it, it doesn't really show up in other Leeds United and EFL content consumers, so to speak. So please do that. All right, that's the business or housekeeping, as you would say. Leeds United 0-1 Burnley. What say you, Daniel Farke? A loss at Ellen Road? Why? Why? Answer to this, Daniel. What happened? This audio courtesy of LUTV.
Not the outcome that you wanted today, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that's right. We are disappointed with the loss. There's no doubt about this. Was a big chance today to win important points today. We didn't make it, and for that we are disappointed.
Why did that happen?
Football can be sometimes 30 nets were away, and we just had one training session together. I didn't expect that we would be so dominant against such a good side like Burnley was also one of the big favorites also for the title during the season. We dominated them in each and every area where we have to be self-critical. In the decisive moments of the game, we were not effective enough to use our chances. So we could have won the game already after 2 minutes, 1-against-1 on the goalkeeper. So either it's a red card for the opponent or it has to be a goal, or at least like to scare the goal. So finish was not great. But great was caught out of a corner. Was Burnley out of corner for us. Also, like, yes, when we were slipping away and then they had the 85-yard sprint and then a clinical finish. When I compare their situation, how they scored, and our situation, normally would say our situation were much easier, but you have to say congratulations to their effectiveness today, where we have to be self-critical in the decisive moments of the game. We were not able to use them in order to win this game, and also then obviously also unlucky because I think it was a clear penalty. There's also no doubt about this, but it's football. Yeah, sometimes it happens. You return back to the dressing room and can't really explain why you lost this game because he was so dominant in each and every aspect.
So I understand what he's saying there. It's football. He dominated the game. There were moments of chances that were created that we should have finished. However, I thought because of the lack of the playing time, because the lack of 9 of the 11 starters that he put out there, 8 of the 11 starters that he put out there were not ready to play. He had one training session. He would close up shop. That's what I thought he would do. He did not do that. He was the protagonist. He wanted to be the protagonist today. And right or wrong, I think that was a bad decision, and it wound up being a bad decision.
That's football.
So, did you see aspects of the performance that pleased you?
I know after I lost, you never want to hear anything positive, but I have to say, um, actually, I'm even more encouraged that we play a good season because after such a difficult international break, I didn't expect that we would be so dominant against such a good side like Burnley. We had more than 70% possession. We created good chances. They were just sitting deep. Didn't allow really chance in the situation. How they scored was out of a corner for us, where Mano, let's be honest, had the easy chance to play the ball back, play the ball to the wing, had the wrong decision, wanted to go 1-against-1, slipped away, and they scored out of a whatever 85-yard overload counter attack. So
The ref had a disaster class. There is quite honestly you could start to be conspiratorial, right, as a Leeds United fan, that the EFL wants us in the championship. We are a big cash cow for them. We're the biggest club in the league. They talk about how financially strapped they are all the time, and they need big clubs in this league.
Well, it was just one of these days where we're not effective enough. But to be that dominant in such a game, although it was a tricky preparation, encouraged me even more. I have not too much to criticize. Yes, effectiveness and the goal that we gave unnecessary way. Yes, of course, this was disappointed.
One positive is you got a full week to work with players and new players to try and get everybody bedded in. Would that be right?
I would have preferred 3 points and then just 1 or 2 days before the next game. So, but sometimes you can't choose. Of course, for us it's always better when we have the group together and no distractions and can train with a full group. We will be always a bit more effective than other teams. So for that, there's no complaints about this. We also like it because we have good players who are on international duty. So for that, yeah, it's football. It's a championship.
And it will happen again. They will go away again for international break. The problem is he has had such little time with some of them, and then you have little time with like a Al Tanaka or Jaden Bogle and Joe Rodon. I know Bogle didn't go on international duty, but they haven't had a chance to gel over that break. And I think there's a problem on that side of the pitch. So in his defense, I think he didn't get his hands on some of these players or see them work, right? See them work together. He had one training session.
Sometimes you have to accept that you also lose the game, although you have a much better side. Then come on, also be a bit self-critical. Speak about, come on, be on it when we are there in this moment. Of course, Matteo needs to score, really needs to score in these situations. Mano shouldn't give the ball away. Yes, be self-critical with this, but then don't dwell under it and make sure that we go again and make sure that we prepare in a perfect way also for the next difficult game.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so nothing crazy from Daniel Farke. I do want to touch on Pascal's comments. Pascal sounds like so much of a leader now. He's just a completely different person.
Room there, I think, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Pascal's with me now. Pascal, you'll have left a disappointed dressing room there, I think, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, of course we go into the game trying to win all of the 46 games. So when we dominate the game like that, it's unfortunate that we go away with 0 points.
Could have been such a brilliant start, couldn't it? That a great chance inside the first 60 seconds as well.
Yeah, I mean, as a striker, 1v1, you rarely get these chances that you run into the goal, 1v1. So it's not as easy as it looks. But unfortunately, we didn't go in. But we should be clinical enough in these moments to capitalize. And then,
that sounds like a coach. That sounds like a leader. That sounds like a captain. We need to be clinical in the moments. And he's talking about himself as well. We did have a chance to go up 1-0. Completely would have changed the game.
Game is 1-0 at 2 minutes. We have a better chance of winning.
As you said, second half in particular, Leeds dominated the game. But they defended well, didn't they, to be fair to them?
Yeah, they had a good solid block. It was hard for us to work around and then penetrate. So, oftentimes, the times we did, we were not clinical enough to try and get chances. And then sometimes, also set pieces. We've had plenty. So, sometimes the goal comes from these things. So, yeah, it didn't go in. So it's something we need to work on probably. And, it's just unlucky.
There's quite a few new bodies in the team.
Pascal is saying we need to work on set pieces. Our set pieces were poor today. Our corners were poor. He is quickly surpassing Marcelo Bielsa, who openly claimed, I believe, that he did not practice set pieces. He didn't It was very limited amount of time on set pieces. I think Farke has similar philosophy, but this team might be worse than Marcelo's. And I love Marcelo and I love the way he plays, but might be worse on set piece routine with a much stronger squad, in my opinion, in the championship, just on paper.
Team, some have left and some have come in. Is it going to take a little while? You've had an international break where hardly anybody's been around the place. Is it going to take a little bit of time to work everybody into the system here?
Yeah, I mean, of course, for the new players, it takes time to adjust to the team and the style of play that we do. But I feel like the lads that play today, for a majority of today, they know what we want to do. But for the new guys, it will take time for them to adjust. But I'm sure they will get the hang of it pretty quick.
Thanks, Pascal.
problem.
Thank you.
Look, I thought we did well. I thought Leeds United could have won the game in many respects. The goal that was conceded was kind of a joke. If I'm defending Daniel Farke, if I'm maybe glass half empty, Daniel Farke got rope-a-doped. I tweeted that out. He got, and he was rope-a-doped and he was the dope. Okay, of course, the rope-a-dope is the classic Muhammad Ali, George Foreman fight in which George Foreman came out and used up all of his energy in the fight, and Muhammad Ali just kind of stood on the ropes, waited for Foreman to use his energy up, and then turned on the fight and wound up being the victor. Or a much older Ali, if I believe correct. I could be wrong there. But anyways, yeah, Parker rope-a-doped you, and I saw it coming a mile away. I thought Farke, to me, the tactics should have been close up shop. You have had no time with the team. Quite honestly, Brendan Aronson was on a paid vacation. I hate to say it as an American. Those two games are a joke. We had no coach. He was seen in the stands in NFL games with the rest of his mates, and it's just kicking back. There's nothing, you know what I mean? It was a joke. Junior Firpo's coming back from the Dominican Republic, where he was playing up top at times. It just, you are so far away from club football after that time. Just, you have one training session. Just get the defensive tactics right. Don't worry about going forward. And Scott Parker caught him. Let's hear from Scott Parker. I'm interested to see how he thinks the game went, if he got away with one or if it was exactly how he thought it would go. This audio courtesy of Burnley Football Club and their YouTube channel.
That was some match, wasn't it? And a great result.
Great result, first and foremost. Difficult place to come, really difficult, and at times it proved every bit of that, really. Spoke to the team today about what we're going to need to bring. I've been in this game a long time as a player and as a coach, and I probably had some pictures in my head of exactly how this game would look, and it was probably every bit of how I expected in moments, and we was going to need to bring something today.
Now, he could be lying there, but I'm going to take him at face value. Every bit of how I pictured the game would be. And to me, if you're picturing up counterattacking a goal or having a couple counterattacking moments, being clinical, and then basically being passive the rest of the game, to me, I'll translate that to nicking a goal and then S-housing the rest of the match. Congratulations.
Understand the players will as well. Of course, there's moments we want to be a better team in certain aspects. I can't look past exactly what get us a result today, and what got us a result today was a work ethic, a determination, a never say die attitude to.
Right, if I'm a Burnley fan, my side defended well. Right, and the man of the match for Burnley and online polls was their keeper. That tells you anything.
To a man every.
this was exactly the game I thought it would be. I thought it would be 0-0, 1-1. I thought it was going to be West Brom. Unfortunately, Farke got rope-a-doped. He wanted to be too much of a protagonist in a atmosphere to me that called for absolutely no tactical installment during the week.
Every single one of them, subs included, boys who didn't come on, a real togetherness that ultimately gets you the result here.
On top of that, the fact that there were 7 new players in that starting lineup probably speaks volumes to how quickly they've come together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And like I said, look, in the world we're in as coaches, you'd sometimes love to have a magic wand that washes over the team and you automatically see a team that you want us to be. Certainly the way we play, the facts are that's not the case, and wish it was, and it's down to my job to try and get us there as quick as I can. What impresses me the most is a new team, a lot of young players, and a core about us that's going to get us.
Look, the more Scott Parker's talking, Scott Parker was being pragmatic. Daniel Farke was naive.
Results, and that is it. That is fundamentally it. That's not just in football, that's just in general life. What we stand for as a group, what we stand for as a team, that was every bit. You watch that game back, that was the reason we got that result today, and that's what impressed me the most. A young group, like you said.
All right. But at the same time, I'm like, chill out, Scott Parker. You got away with an absolute stonewall penalty. So watch the game back yourself, my friend.
With not long being around it, they've picked up exactly what I stand for and what I want us to be, really.
And this is Luca Koleosho's last day as a teenager. He turns 20 tomorrow. There was some calmness in that goal as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Probably not many players, certainly in this division, that can probably go and take the ball 60 yards at full pace, running away from people, and then have the quality.
I mean, so in the commentary, it's like he had a lot to do. I mean, he had a lot to do, but he really didn't have a lot to do. He was one-on-one with the keeper for 60 yards. I mean, there was no that goal was a little bit of a joke. Bogle slips. Farke's got to. I mean, you can't put your players in that position to where a winger slips. A winger slips, not the fullback, because the fullback's so far up the pitch in Junior Firpo that it leaves the goalie naked for 60 yards one-on-one. Why do we have 2 holding midfielders? Like, it's just, come on, Daniel.
And the coolness and calmness to settle down and execute a finish, really. So brilliant for him. I'm really pleased for him. This is a boy that, you know, he's got the right attributes, not just on the field but off the field as well, to go and be a top player. And we need to keep working with him. He still needs loads of refining, loads of work, but he's someone who's engaged and wants to get better, really.
And if we're talking about that end, we should talk about the other end, not just the way that everybody defended, but the way that James pulled off some decent saves today as well. Very decent saves.
Yeah, I was really pleased for James. Obviously, a tough year last year for him, and yeah, certainly it's been a busy summer as well in that sense. But I was really pleased for him, and certainly the last action in terms of that, the bravery show, pulled off saves when we needed him to. And then the last bit, when that cross comes in, surrounded, you've got to go through players and go and get this ball to give us some oxygen, because that's what we needed at that moment. He done every bit of that, showed real character today. And like I said, really.
Yeah, he did a good job. He made some good saves. No other way to say it, in my opinion, time wasted or time delayed very well.
Pleased.
We're currently just standing in front of where the thousands of Burnley fans were not that long ago. They were magnificent.
I'm glad you asked, to be honest with you, because they were every bit of what we are. And I think probably I'd like to think that this group and this team today represented every one of them, to be quite honest with you.
All right, I got to pause the propaganda. Congratulations to the Burnley fans. You got to give it up to them, right? They're good. They're some of the they're not bad fans. I'll give them that. Let's go to the match stats. Let's take a gander at those, shall we? And it was right. If I'm a Leeds United apologist, if I'm a Farke apologist, I say we dominated every statistic except for the scoreline. and this should have been ours running away with it. Shots, 17 by Leeds United, 7 by Burnley. Not insignificant by Burnley. Shots on target, 4 by Leeds United. I think one of them was speculative, right, by Gruev from midfield, right at the keeper. Free shots on target by Burnley, 1 obviously in the what we had to pick out of our net. Possession, 72%. Possession, it's 28 to Burnley. Was their possession with purpose? I'll let you decide that. I would say in the first half at times, absolutely. I am not going to hear this number 10 rhetoric that we needed a number 10. The squad is good enough to win. I don't want to hear that, boy, we should have gotten a 10. Obviously, everybody wanted a 10. You talk to this Angus on the square ball, all the rumors that link, they tried to get it. Okay. I don't want to hear the number 10 and we need a 10. And what if we got a, okay, the window's shut. It's the squad is the squad, and the squad is good enough to get out of the division. And absolutely, we need to maybe get a 10 in January, but until that point, it's good enough. And I don't necessarily, I'm not here. I actually probably like to see Nanto at the 10 rather than Aronson personally. But that's a Farke decision, and we can talk about that. Who should be in the 10 all day long. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about that we need a 10, because the number 10 now is in the squad. Farke's got to cultivate it. So let's go to pass accuracy, 86% to 68. I mean, really, Burnley had no business winning this game in many aspects. But again, I think Farke got rope-a-doped. I'm a fence sitter. Welcome to my channel. Fouls, 8 fouls, and Burnley got 13. I thought they were, quite honestly, dirty at times. Red cards, 1, obviously, at the end. Corners, we had 9 corners, 9 cards. We were offside 6 times. That was just another, to me, sign that we were not awake on the front line going forward. But 9 corners, not a goal from 9 corners, really poor. Look, I think if we play tomorrow, Leeds wins. I think if we play tomorrow, Leeds would win that match. But in this moment, Farke got out coached. There's no other way to describe it. He got out coached in this moment. I just don't think he got the tactics right to really see out on a really important result, but maybe he feels like it's early enough in the championship season. But let it be a lesson to him. We still off to a decent start this season. A lot of people are entertaining this rhetoric 4-14. I'm not going to necessarily go there. There's separate seasons, separate squads, separate situations. So I think Farke understands that the pressure will be very much on in the next game. We've got a full week to go to the next match, which will be against Cardiff. I believe we'll take a look at the schedule here in a little bit. But I'm interested in what you have to say, really, down below in the comments. Is this Farke's fault? Is this Farke's fault? Or did Farke get the tactics right? We just needed to finish the dinner and put our shooting boots on, whatever phrase you want to say. I'm interested in what you have to say there. Let's look at, I'm not really interested in the table right now. We could look at it, but we're 2 points off of Burnley, who sit at 3rd. We're probably 4 points off the top 2. So we could be top 2 in literally less than 2 games, maybe. Okay, so we have Cardiff away, Coventry at home, Norwich away, Sunderland away, and then it looks like a little bit of another international break. So people have said at least 9 or 10 from the next 4. My mindset will be 12. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where they go from there. But 2 homes, 2 aways, and we move forward. But Farke's got to figure it out. Farke's got to get the front 4 right. I think he's got to get the back line right. And I think I, like many of you, want to see what we have in Ao Tanaka or Ao Tanaka. Really, I think he's going to be a really interesting player. Ramazani, to me, look, I'm reading the tea leaves. I would play him probably over Aronson. I would put Nanto in the 10. I would move Aronson off the pitch, and I would put Ramazani on the right or the left, depending on how I felt. Monar Solomon could handle each side. I know he can probably handle both, but whatever. However you want to deal that, but I would start Ramazani. To me, he won't start because I know Farke, and he is basically Monar Solomon's the new Rodon. Monar Solomon's going to start week in, week out, lest there's injury. And Nanto's going to start week in, week out because of his talent and his skill. And I think Ramazani is going to be the new Jaden Anthony. I think he's going to be on the bench, and I think he will earn it'll be difficult for him to earn Farke's trust. He is raw. He is not as polished as Crescencio Somerville. And like I said, I would start Ramazani. But I think that probably James is ahead of him, and Nanto is ahead of him, and Solomon is ahead of him. And I'm hoping that Farke doesn't think Aronson is the solution in the 10, but at early doors, it does look like he is leaning towards Aronson in the 10. So, and Aronson, again, I think he got back from vacation today. He was at times, I know everybody's going to say he was maybe at times the best player on the pitch. Fine, absolutely. He always brings energy. He was ready, but he wasn't clinical in terms of that 1-2s, and he wasn't. He doesn't have the relationships on the front line the way Georgie and Somerville and Nanto and James did last year. So, yeah, I just think he's got to get the front line right, and yeah, and I think Joseph's got to be ready. He's got to be ready in a moment like that to put the team up. So we'll see. I expect some changes next match, but I don't think. I think you might see Ao Tanaka in for Gruev, and I think he's got to put a better set piece taker on the ball, especially in corners. All right, that's my time. I'm out of here. Happy Monday. Be well, treat each other well, and we move on. Marching to go, Leeds.